Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. I'm very happy to be joining AstraZeneca and being part of the proud history and heritage of this great organization. The last few years have been quite a successful period for this company. We have experienced significant growth in revenues and profits and have expanded our global footprint. However, given the vast changes taking place in the pharmaceutical industry and the global community at large, AstraZeneca needs to evolve to fulfill our customers' needs and to remain at the forefront of innovation, as we have in the past. We need to leverage on our core strengths, pursue opportunities, and optimize our processes so as to maximize value for our shareholders, employees, and the wider population that we serve. In the next few minutes, I will share with you some of the key challenges we're facing in the pharmaceutical industry, followed by an overview of AstraZeneca's activities. Healthcare is essential. Hence, in spite of the current economic crisis, the global pharmaceutical market is set to double over the next decade, exceeding $1.2 trillion. The key growth areas will come from emerging markets and developing countries. The recent economic environment, due to the global recession, is hurting revenues for large pharmaceutical companies which were primarily dependent on selling their drugs to governments in the developing world. The next wave of large pharmaceutical income is predicted to come from the emerging economies, or the E7 as they are known. The next key area that I'm going to talk about is growth in certain therapies. The main areas of therapeutic growth in the future are going to be oncology, anti-rheumatics, anti-diabetics, and vaccines. Now, the final key theme that I'm going to talk about is the threat from generics. It is estimated that around $70 billion of European pharma majors' 2008 sales are at risk of generic competition by 2015. Thus, European pharmaceutical majors will have to ensure that their product pipelines are sufficiently built up over the next 6 years so as to mitigate this significant exposure to the generics cliff. Next, I'm going to talk about the competitiveness in the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry has a low potential for new entrants because of the high capital costs involved. The bargaining power of suppliers is low. Bargaining power of buyers is low because they don't have any option until patents expire. The competitive rivalry is very high because there are loads of pharmaceutical companies competing for the same customers. And the threat of substitutes is medium high because as soon as a company's patent expires, they are susceptible to the generics threat. Now we're going to look at the European competitive landscape and a strategic group analysis of AstraZeneca. The pharmaceutical market is extremely competitive, as I said earlier, and this has also been exacerbated by major US consolidation in the last year. The likes of Pfizer-Wyeth and Merck Schering-Plough have created two pharmaceutical behemoths that are going to be extremely competitive going forward. There's been no consolidation within Europe. In Europe, AstraZeneca remains the only large pure-play pharmaceutical company. Novartis, Roche, and GlaxoSmithKline have managed to diversify their product portfolios by going into generics, biologics, and consumer products, respectively. Mostly all the European pharmaceutical companies have a strong product pipeline which may transform into successful, marketable products in the future. Now that we've covered all the key themes for the pharmaceutical market, I think we'll go into AstraZeneca. First of all, AstraZeneca boasts a presence in over 100 countries and is actively expanding its presence in emerging markets. AstraZeneca's 2008 sales totaled $31.6 billion with net profits of $6.1 billion. AstraZeneca has performed exceptionally in the last couple of years with their net profit growing at an annual rate of 20%. AstraZeneca's largest markets are the USA, Western Europe, followed by Japan, and they're actively expanding into far emerging markets such as China and India. AstraZeneca's key strengths lie in the cardiovascular, gastrointestinal, oncology, and neuroscience therapy areas. AstraZeneca's top 13 products contributed to around 84% of its 2008 sales. A better way to understand what we have planned for the future is to look at our current product pipeline build. As you can see that we currently have over 100 products in the pipeline as of July 2009, and our pipeline has been consistently growing at an annual rate of 10.3% since 2004. This means we're proactively seeking to expand our product portfolio so as to remain competitive. Looking at the next slide, we can see AstraZeneca's pipeline by therapy area. As you can see that we are keen to expand more into the oncology and cardiovascular markets, which are going to be the largest markets going forward. Now we can summarize all our analysis till now in strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis. So our key strengths are a strong product portfolio, growing distribution channels in emerging markets, good R&D management, a large product pipeline, and cost-saving procedures that we have currently taken into place. Some of the weaknesses that we have are limited diversification, as we still remain a pure play pharmaceutical company. However, that could be our core strength as well. Some of the opportunities that we're going to encounter in the next couple of years are that our pipeline products are going to enter the markets within the next 5 years in very large numbers. We also have the possibility to build upon recent performance in emerging markets and increase our market share there. One of the threats that our business is going to face is specific risks, such as pricing pressures through legislation, especially in emerging markets such as India. We also have a significant amount of patent expiries in the next couple of years, 15 billion, as I mentioned earlier. Now that we've analyzed AstraZeneca's core businesses, there are a couple of strategies that I would like to propose going forward so as to increase our competitiveness and ensure that we deliver value. The first strategy that I'm going to propose is a proactive mergers and acquisition strategy. One of the companies that we've identified is Novo Nordisk, which is currently the European and global leader in anti-diabetics healthcare. The strategic rationale behind this acquisition would be that the global diabetics healthcare costs currently account for 10% of the entire global healthcare market. These costs are projected to expand from current levels of $300 billion to around $500 billion by 2030. Hence, this presents a large opportunity for Novo Nordisk and for AstraZeneca if it were to acquire Novo. Novo Nordisk has a market-dominant position in diabetics, where it holds a 51% market share. Another reason for this transaction would be to diversify our product portfolio from a pure-play pharmaceutical company and include certain aspects of biologics which Novo Nordisk have incorporated in their businesses. They also have a very strong pipeline of 17 products which we can integrate into our own and ensure that we develop these products successfully and that they're marketed well so as to generate significant revenues for the combined company. Now looking at some of the mechanics of the transaction, the financing will be primarily from the cash reserves that AstraZeneca has accumulated within the last couple of years. We currently have $4.6 billion on our balance sheet in our cash reserves, and we're looking to get some more through our sales of Nexium and Symbicort in the next couple of years before the patent expires. We'll also look at getting syndicated bank loans, and these are more readily available post-2007 credit crunch. I think AstraZeneca, given its good credit ratings, will be sure to get this financing. We're looking at around $36 billion, but however, going forward, we'll need to make sure that we have more details on their businesses and ensure that there's a good strategic fit between AstraZeneca and Novo Nordisk's businesses. The second strategy that I'm proposing is to increase partnerships and alliances with biotechnology firms, which would help enhance our product pipeline significantly. In the past, AstraZeneca has not taken a very proactive approach to dealing with biotechnology companies, hence we have very few strategic alliances and partnerships at the moment. However, I'd like to look into making more of these connections into biotechnology firms because these are the companies that are at the forefront of healthcare innovation, and they would offer an invaluable insight into the healthcare market and where it's going forward. The third and final strategy that I'm going to propose is continue our push into far-emerging markets as we have done in the past. Finally, I'm confident that AstraZeneca has the strategy, skills and resources that will enable us to anticipate and adapt quickly and effectively to the changes that our business faces. Above all, our single-minded determination to succeed will ensure that we stay focused on our mission to deliver great medicines and business performance that creates enduring value for our shareholders. Thank you.